Hi everyone, how are you? Hope you're all doing well. I'm here today with a spring, early summer bridal look tutorial. This is my very first bridal kind of look. I am basically doing it because I have been challenged, I guess, by my friend Johanna, who is getting married, and I would like to say congratulations to her. I would like to thank her as well for giving me the honour of being one of her bridesmaids, and also for doing the makeup for her and all of us bridesmaids on the wedding day. So I am trying to come up with a bridal kind of look for all of us to wear, and have sort of been experimenting a bit and thought I would share with you a little bit of the experimentations that I've been doing. So this is the first one that I've come up with. It's sort of neutral eyes with a peachy pink kind of look to it. So you get the peachy coral kind of lip, you get the corally kind of blush, and then the very neutral eyes. So if you would like to see how I did this look, please keep watching. So the first step I'm going to do is moisturize, and I think it's important with especially bridal makeup or any makeup that's going to be photographed, as I'm sure you've all heard plenty of people here on YouTube saying, especially anything that's going to be photographed, any makeup that's going to be photographed, if it has anything that has sunscreen in it, chances are when flash photography is used, it's going to turn white. And you don't particularly want that, especially for your bridal photos. So try not to have any SPF in any of your products. So anything starting from your moisturizer, then your foundation, things like that. So I am going to start with moisturizer. This is my Sukin facial moisturizer, and this one is available from Priceline. Most of these will be available from Priceline that I'm using today. And I will put a link down to a video that I watched a while back, and it's from Lisa Eldridge, and she said that it's important for when you do bridal makeup, if you want it to last longer, do things in very thin layers. So that's what I'm going to try and do. So basically try and get everything moisturized, but don't put a really thick layer on, just because that will make your foundation and anything that you put on your face slip, basically. So moisturize your face. Now I'm going to put a primer on, and again, thin layer and no SPF. I'm going to use the Nude by Nature Undercover Airbrush Mineral Primer. It looks like this, again from Priceline, basically because the next product is a semi-mineral foundation. So I'll put a little tiny bit on the back of my hand. That should be enough. Now, if you want to put anything on that's going to minimize your pores as well, you can go ahead and do that. I don't have anything here that's, well, in my collection that's drugstore. I only have the Napoleon Purtis Pore Mattify and Minimize, or whatever it's called. And that's definitely not drugstore, so I'm not going to use it in this tutorial. So we're going to go on to foundation. And of all the foundations I use, this is the only one that doesn't have SPF. It's the Natio Fluid Makeup with Moisturizer, which, as I've said in a previous tutorial, I don't find it has enough moisturizer in there for me. So I definitely need to put some moisturizer on before using it. So putting a bit on the back of my hand using my Real Techniques stippling brush. Once again, you can buy Real Techniques at Priceline, or you can find them at iherb.com. look down below in the description box for a coupon code for, I think it's $10 off your first purchase if it's over $40, and $5 off your first purchase if it's less than that. So look in the description box below for that. But I buy all of my brushes, the Real Techniques brushes, definitely from iHerb. And don't forget that if your foundation is lighter or darker than the rest of your body, then go down your neck a little bit and try to blend it in. Also, if you are going to be wearing an updo on the day, don't forget to do your ears. Alright, now that foundation is done, I'm going to skip the concealer. I'm going to do that after my eyes. Basically, we are done on the face for now, so we're going to go on to eyes. Now, the first step on your eyes is to add a thin layer of some sort of a primer. You can use just an sort of untinted kind of eye primer. I thought I would use a Maybelline Colour Tattoo Metal cream eyeshadow, just a thin layer of that to use as a primer, as well as a little bit of a wash of colour, just so that my eyeshadows could sort of stick to that. I'm going to use, as I have for the past couple of tutorials that I've done, my Colour Tattoo Metal by Maybelline in number 70, Barely Branded. And it is, if I can open it, a sort of champagne beige kind of colour. And I'm going to use this on my finger just because this is my personal one. But if you are going to be doing this on other people, maybe use a synthetic brush, just because it'll work better with a cream product. So putting this all over the lid and with whatever's left on my product under my brow. Now, most companies do a neutral toned eyeshadow palette. So I went looking through my collection for a less expensive palette that has a range of both shimmer and mattes, because I think you do need that contrast, and those two finishes, you definitely will need them for this look. This is the NYX 10 colour eyeshadow palette from the Runway collection, and I've got it in the one Bohemian Rhapsody. So it's that, and the front looks like this. So with my flat shader brush, I'm going to pick up some of this shimmery sort of beigey champagne colour, which sort of goes with the colour that we put down, but it's a little bit darker. I'm going to pick some of that up, tap off any of the excess, but I'm going to put this all over my lid up to the crease. I'm now going to grab a brush sort of like this. This is one of the brushes that I use as a crease brush. It does tend to shed a little bit, so I am kind of wary. And I'm going to grab the middle matte shade, and I'm going to use this as a crease colour. Now, I was going to cheat and use my beloved Napoleon Purtis one, but then I thought, no, I can't. It's not technically a drugstore or, you know, anything like that. Anyway, so I'm tapping off any of the excess, and I'm going in the crease with this. And I'm not a particularly big fan of this taupey shade, but I mean, it'll have to do because I was going through my collection and realised that I've actually been favouring my Napoleon Purtis. So I must go on the hunt for something that's similar. If you've got something similar or know of something similar, please put it in the comments below. I know that the comments section has gone all funny because of the whole Google Plus thing, but we will try and make do. Okay, next up I'm going to mix a couple of shades just because the pigmentation once again is lacking, but this is the only neutral palette that I could find from the least expensive range that I felt had the combination of matte and neutral that sort of, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to mix the one that we just used for the crease colour and a bit of the black to do the outer corners. I'm using a little bit of a fat kind of paddle brush. That's from Nude by Nature. So I'm just going to sort of going in to the brown, taking a bit of black, going back into the brown, tapping off or rubbing off any of the excess sort of on my wrist. Grabbing my trusty blender brush and going in with this matte sort of skin colour. I'm just blending. I do not know why my camera is making it look more black than it is in real life. It definitely isn't that dark, trust me. With the same blending brush, I'm just adding some of this shimmery kind of peachy, sort of dusty peachy colour, and then just going on top of where we put our crease colour, or almost on top of our crease colour, and then dragging it down and then blending it in our crease so it warms it up. Trying to get rid of as much of the shimmer as possible just so we could get that peach. I'm just putting a little bit more of that shimmery champagne on top. If you want to add a bit of black liner, you can. I am going to, just because I wear a lot of it. I am going to use it with a push liner brush or whatever you call it. If you're going to use black liner on a white brush, be prepared for it to be stained. This has been washed several times. It is still black. Anyway, I'm using the Natio long-lasting eyeliner. It's waterproof. Waterproof is very important, especially on your wedding day. If you're going to be crying, or if you're going to expect to be crying, or even if you think you're going to start crying, wear waterproof stuff. So, load it up on your brush. This is basically just to make my lashes look a bit fuller. Only reason. And then just to make my eyes look a bit bigger, I'm going to use a nude liner on my waterline. Once again, waterproof. This is the Rimmel Scandaleyes waterproof Kohl Kajal pencil, and it's in 005 Nude. Looks a little something like that. They have heaps of colours. I specifically chose this because it makes your eyes look bigger. So basically, just line your waterline. Alrighty, mascara time. I once again recommend using waterproof. I recommend the Essence Get Big Lashes. This is the Volume Boost mascara, and I've chosen it in the waterproof, which comes in the dark blue case packaging. I'm going to put it on and I'll be right back. So of course I started to do my brows and realized that the camera had malfunctioned. So I will go over it again. I'm going to use the same taupe color from the palette, this one here, for my brows. And I'm going to use the Real Techniques brow brush, which looks like that. Now our last step on our eyes before we move on is grab a clean flat shader brush and grab the lightest colour from the palette, and we're going to use that as the highlight underneath our brow. This is the matte one. I'm just putting that in the centre. I'm not going all the way across. I'm just keeping that underneath the centre of the brow, just on top of the centre of the brow bone. Alrighty, eyes are done. Time to conceal. I'm going to use my beloved Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Erase Dark Circles, blah blah blah, whatever it's called. Alright, if you want to add some powder to mattify any areas that you don't want to be oily, whatever, then you can grab a powder. I'm going to use the Mineral Press powder from Natio. I've got this one in medium tan, which, as I've mentioned before, is a little bit too dark for me usually, but I use it very sparingly. So I'm just tapping off any excess, and I'm just going through and just mattifying any areas that I know get super oily. You do want some of the dewiness to get through, and we are going to add a little bit of highlight, not too much, but just enough so that when the photographer takes the photos, you do get a little bit of a subtle glow. Now your next step is to add some dimension, and we're going to start with contouring or bronzing. This is the BYS Blush and Bronze in the shade 03 Pure Bliss. So it looks like that. I don't find it, well, I find it too much of a bronzer for me, like too much of the browns for a blush. So I pretty much use it as a bronzer slash highlighter. So I am going to do that as a bronzer. Anyway, so I'm going to use this with the blush brush from Real Techniques. And now I'm going in with the Essence Multicolor Blush, which I'm pretty sure has been discontinued. But this is in the shade How Cute Is That? And it is a range of peaches and coral and a pink, which will go with any of those sort of peach, pink, coral lipsticks. And I'm going to use that with a Nude by Nature blush brush. So on the apples of the cheeks, push back. Now I'm going to add the tiny little bit of glow highlight, And this is from Rimmel. This is the Wake Me Up Instant Radiance Shimmer Touch, and this is in the shade 001 Flush of Pearl. Just going to go in on the top of the cheekbone. You can put a little bit if you have any left over on your brow bone as well. Alright, I've put my glasses on because this is the step that I really need to see. I'm going to do my lips. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to line and fill in my lips. And I'm going to use the Avon Glimmer Stick Lip Liner in Fair Pink. Not sure if this is still available. If it isn't, I'm sure you could find something similar. This is the colour here. It is a peachy pink. And I actually like the combination of this liner and the lipstick, even though the lipstick is more of a pink than a peachy pink. I think the liner lipstick combo goes really well. So anyway, I'm going to line my lips. I'm going to fill them in as well. And the lipstick that I'm going to use, you would actually think wouldn't go with this lip liner, but I actually think it's a nice combination. This is the NYX round lipstick. I think you find them on the net known as this. Anyway, it's the NYX lipstick in the shade Paparazzi, which looks like that. Swatching it next to it, you would think, why are you putting it with that liner? I will show you why I'm putting it with this liner. That is the lip combo. I think it makes a really nice kind of peachy pink coral that complements sort of the neutral tones. And I mean, you could skip that lip liner altogether and just do the pink and it would look really nice. But I just thought this would look really nice, especially for a spring wedding and for a garden wedding. And I thought I'd do something different because I don't particularly wear these kind of colours very often. So I thought I would do an experimentation, and yeah, that is my spring bridal look. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'll take my glasses off. Hopefully my glasses haven't made too much of an indentation. But I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you very soon. So until next time, take care. Bye.